Hello, how are you? I hope you're doing well. For today's video, I'm going to show you how to crochet this ghost plushie. I will show you how to do everything step by step, but this will not be a beginner's tutorial because you will need to know the basics of crocheting. I'm just going to show you what you need to do for each of the rounds. Anyway, now let's get into the materials. Okay, so in order to make this white ghost plushie, you're going to be needing some fluffy white yarn, a 7mm crochet hook, a darning needle, some pink yarn for the blush, and some black yarn for the mouth. You can also use black yarn for the eyes if you don't happen to have safety eyes like this one, which I will show you how to make the eyes because I don't have safety eyes at the moment, so I will be using black yarn for that as well. And so these are the materials you're going to be needing. You're also going to be needing some stuffing. You can use excess yarn that you have as stuffing, or you can use polyfill stuffing. For this particular video, because white doesn't show up very well on camera, I will be using this color instead. So this color shows up better on camera, so this is what I'm going to be doing. And since I will be using this, my ghost is going to turn out smaller. But your ghost, if you follow the tutorial exactly the way that it is, will turn out like this. But again, for the sake of this video, for the yarn to show up on camera, I will be using this off-white color. But again, if you follow it exactly, you'll get this exact same thing. Anyway, now that's all out of the way, let's begin. Okay, to begin, we're going to go ahead and start off with a magic ring. So go ahead and grab the end of your yarn and your index finger and your middle finger. Bring your yarn in front of your index finger like so. Hold the yarn down with your thumb and then wrap the other end of the yarn all around your fingers until you get this little X at the very top. Now you're going to go ahead and grab your hook. You will be using a 7mm crochet hook if you're making the ghost plushie exactly like this, but since I'm using a thinner yarn for the sake of the video, I'm using a 4.5mm crochet hook right now. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this hook through this upper loop right over here. I'm going to grab yarn and I'm going to pull it through and chain one. I'm going to remove this loop from my fingers, and there you have your magic ring. And now we're going to go ahead and start off working in rounds. So for round one, we're going to be working into this magic ring, and we're going to do 6 single crochet stitches. So go ahead and do 6 single crochets into the circle, and I will meet you when I'm done. I have 6 single crochets. Go ahead and grab the little strand of yarn that you have, pull on it, and the center loop should tighten. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and find our very first stitch, and we're going to slip stitch into it, which might be a little difficult to do. Go ahead and slip stitch into your first stitch and chain one. And there you have round number 1. And now we're going to start round number 2. The repeat for round number 2 is we're going to do an increase in every stitch around. So you're going to increase all around, and at the very end of this round you should have a total of 12 stitches in total. So go ahead and do that, and I will meet you when I'm done. I've done all of my increases. I'm going to slip stitch into my very first stitch and chain one. And now we're on to round 3. For round 3, we're going to do repeat of 1 single crochet and 1 increase all the way around. Again, the repeat for round 3 is 1 single crochet and 1 increase all the way around until you get to the very end. At the end of round 3, you should have a total of 18 stitches, and go ahead and pause the video and I'll meet you when I'm done. Okay, I'm at the end of round 3. I'm going to slip stitch and chain 1 to finish off. And now we're on to round number 4. The repeat for round 4 is 2 single crochets and an increase all the way around. Again, the repeat is 2 single crochets and an increase all the way around until you get to the very end. At the end of this round, you should have a total of 24 stitches. Go ahead and pause the video and I will meet you when I'm done. I'm at the end of round 4. I have a total of 24 stitches. I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch and chain 1, and now we're on round 5. So for round 5, our repeat is going to be 3 single crochets and an increase all the way around. Again, that's 3 single crochets and an increase all the way around. And at the end of this round, you should have a total of 30 stitches. Go ahead and repeat that pattern, and I will meet you when I'm done. Okay, I'm at the end of round 5. I have a total of 30 stitches. I'm going to go ahead and finish off again with a slip stitch and chain 1. And now we're on round 6, which is our last round of increases. So the repeat for round 6 is going to be 4 single crochets and an increase all the way around. Again, the repeat for round 6 is 4 single crochets and an increase all the way around until you get to the very end. At the end of this round, you should have a total of 36 stitches. Go ahead and continue, and I will meet you when I'm done. Okay, I've just finished round 6. Go ahead and slip stitch and chain 1. And again, I have a total of 36 stitches in total. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to do continuous rounds of single crochet stitches. So we're just going to single crochet all around. At the end, slip stitch and chain 1, and we're going to keep doing that. And we're going to do a total of 9 rounds of single crochets. So go ahead and do 9 rounds of single crochet stitches, keeping a stitch count of 36, and making sure to slip stitch and chain 1 at the end of each round. Again, just single crochet all around, because now we are going to go ahead and start doing this portion, the side portion of our ghost. So we just crocheted in rounds, we finished increasing, and now we're basically making the length of our ghost. And again, we're going to be doing a total of 9 rounds of single crochet stitches. Go ahead and pause the video, and I will meet you when I'm done. Okay, I have finished my rounds of single crochets. I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch and chain 1. And I'm going to go ahead and loosen up this yarn and remove my hook, because now we're going to go ahead and add the eyes, blush, and mouth. If you have safety eyes, you can go ahead and use those. You want to place them evenly between rounds 9 and 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Yes. So between rounds 9 and 10, and you want to keep them 6 stitches apart. So the mouth is going to take up 3 spaces, and then you're going to want to keep 2 spaces away from the mouth to add the eyes so they're even. I'm going to go ahead and do that on this little ghost that we have here. So I have my black yarn on my darning needle because I don't have safety eyes at the moment, so I'm going to show you how to do it with black yarn. So where we slip stitch and chain 1, that's going to be the back of our ghost, and we're going to flip it over so we're facing the front. We're going to go ahead and find rounds 9 and 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So these are rounds 9 and 10. You're going to want to, if you have a safety eyes, you're going to want to place it right in between. If you have a darning needle, go ahead and place it on round 10, which I will show you properly in just a second. Okay, so we have our black yarn, our darning needle. Find round 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. This is round 10. We're going to go ahead and bring our hook through the upper part of round 10, like so. Bring it through. And then, again, this is round 10. Bring it through there, the available loop right below it. And that is going to be where your first eye is. And now what I like to do is I like to go around a couple more times through where I've just placed my eyes so I can thicken it up so it looks better. And again, I'm doing this on round 10 with my black yarn. Okay? Now that that's done, we're going to go ahead and move 6 stitches over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Place it there. Make sure that your mouth can fit evenly in between. And then go ahead and do the exact same thing, 6 stitches apart. And when you're done placing both of your eyes, flip it inside out and go ahead and just tie the 2 ends together so your eyes are fastened properly in place. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. Once they're properly fastened, go ahead and snip off the excess yarn. And there you have your 2 eyes. I'm going to go ahead and just verbally say what I just did again if what I said was confusing. So if you have your safety eyes, you're going to place them in between rounds 9 and 10. If you have the yarn, you're going to go ahead and place your eyes on round 10. and you're going to have 6 spaces in between so you can evenly place your mouth in the middle. Okay, so that is basically what I've did. I fastened off my black yarn from the inside, and now I'm going to use the same black yarn to make the mouth. So go ahead and find the stitch that's right in between your 2 eyes. Mine's going to be right over here. And I'm going to go ahead and bring my needle through the stitch right below it. So find the middle of your 2 eyes, go right below it, and bring your darning needle through. Like so. Oops. Let's do that again. There we go. And now we're going to go ahead and bring our darning needle up 1 and right 1. Now we're going to go through this stitch right here. Perfect. And now we're going to do the exact same thing. From here, up 1, now 1 to the left. Bring it through that one. And then bring it back down through the very first one that we brought our yarn through. And there you have your mouth. Go ahead and play with it just so it looks a little better. Okay? And now we're going to do the exact same thing. Flip it inside out and fasten it off. So just make a couple of knots. Make sure it's not too tight because you don't want your mouth to look too tight. You want it to look normal. Go ahead and snip it off. And there you go. If you would like to add blush, you're going to go ahead and grab your pink yarn. Grab your pink yarn, find one of your eyes, bring your darning needle through the bottom of the eye, and then bring it through the stitch right next to it. And then just go ahead and flip your work inside out and tie it on the inside, and do the same thing with the other eye. For the sake of this video, I'm not going to add blush, but go ahead and just do what I just did. Tie it from the inside, do the exact same thing on the other one, and now we're going to go ahead and continue crocheting. Okay, now we're back to crocheting. Grab your hook, bring it through the loop, and tighten it up a little bit. And now what we're going to do is we're going to be working on the bottom part of the ghost. So for this round, we're going to only work in the back loops only, so in the loops that are in the very back, and we're going to start doing our decreases as well. So for the first round, we're going to do a repeat of 4 single crochets and a decrease all the way around. So do 4 back loop single crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then do an invisible decrease in the back loops only. So bring your hook through the back loop of the next stitch, and then that same hook, bring it through the back loop of the next stitch. Grab yarn, pull through 2. You have 2 loops on your hook, grab yarn, pull through 2. That's how I do my invisible back loop decreases. And you're going to repeat the pattern of 4 single crochets and a decrease all the way around in the back loops only until you get to the very end. At the end, you should have a total of 30 stitches. Go ahead and pause the video and I will meet you when I'm done. Okay, our first round of decreases is done. Go ahead and slip stitch and chain 1. And now we're on our second round of decreases. The repeat for this one is going to be 3 single crochets and a decrease all the way around. And instead of working in the back loops only, you can go ahead and do regular stitches now. So again, the repeat pattern for this is 3 single crochets and a decrease. And you can do the decrease in the front stitches now, all the way around until the very end. After you've done your 3 single crochets and a decrease, you should have a total of 24 stitches. And go ahead and continue that and I'll meet you when I'm done. Okay, second round of decreases are done. Go ahead and slip stitch and chain 1. And now we're on our third round of decreases. So for this round, our repeat is going to be 2 single crochets and a decrease all the way around. And at the end, you should have a total of 18 stitches. Go ahead and repeat that and I will meet you when I'm done. Okay, I've done my decrease round. I'm going to slip stitch and chain 1. And now before we begin our fourth round of decreases, go ahead and loosen up your yarn and start stuffing your ghost with your polyfill stuffing or your scrap yarn pieces. Go ahead and start stuffing and I will meet you when I'm done. Once you have your ghost stuffed for the most part, we're going to go ahead and continue with our decrease rounds. So for the next round of decreases, our repeat is going to be 1 single crochet and a decrease all the way around until you get to the very end. and at the end you should have a total of 12 stitches. So go ahead and repeat this and I will meet you when I'm done. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch and chain 1, and now we have one more round of decreases to go, but before we do that, go ahead and stuff your ghost a little bit more, and I will do that off camera. Okay, so I've gone ahead and stuffed it a little more, and now we're on our final round of decreases. And for this round, we're just going to do a decrease all the way around until you get to the very end. You should have a total of 6 decreases in total and 6 stitches. So go ahead and do that, and I will meet you when I'm done. I'm here at the end. Go ahead and slip stitch and chain 1. And now go ahead and grab your scissors and cut a 6 to 12 inch strand of yarn and pull it through like so. And now what you want to do is you want to attach the yarn that you just cut onto your darning needle like so. And we're going to go ahead and close this hole shut. And you can close it however you'd like. I'm just going to go ahead and go through the outer part of the stitch, so the front loop. And I'm just going to go ahead and go in back and forth through each of those and sort of make like a drawstring effect all the way around through our 6 stitches, and then pull on it. And then once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and just go through the hole one more time, bring our yarn through, take our darning needle, bring it through this loop, and then fasten it off. You can do this however you'd like, that's just how I do it. Now I'm going to bring my darning needle through my ghost towards the back part, and I'm going to go ahead and fasten it off here again. Then bring it through a couple more stitches, and then snip off the excess yarn. And now we're going to be making the little ghost, these little bumps of the ghost, and I will do that right now. Okay, grab your yarn again, make a slip knot, and now we're going to start working on the little bumps. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and from one of the loops, from the stitches where we did the back loops only, you should have gotten this little line around it. You're going to just bring your hook through one of those stitches, bring our yarn through, and chain 1. And now what we're going to do is we're going to be making those little bumps. So we've just chained 1, go ahead and chain another one, so a total of 2 chains. And into the same place where we inserted our hook, we're going to be doing double crochets. Into this space, we're going to do a total of 4 double crochets. There's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. There's 4 double crochets into that one space. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and bring our hook through the next available space, and we're going to slip stitch. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and bring our hook through the next available space, and we're going to do 4 more double crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have 4 double crochets, slip stitch into the very next stitch, and then start doing another group of 4 double crochets into the next stitch after that. 2, 3, 4. Okay? So basically what you're going to do is after you've done your 4, you're going to slip stitch into the next available space. And then you're going to go ahead and find your next space, do another 4, slip stitch, then do 4 stitches, slip stitch, then do 4, and you're going to continue doing that all the way around. And I'll go ahead and meet you when I'm done. Okay, I'm here at the end. I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch into my last available space, and then I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to cut a 6-inch strand of yarn, give or take a few inches. And there you go. Now you have these 2 strands of yarn, which you can go ahead and use your darning needle to weave into your ghost. Okay, now we're going to start working on the little hands. Go ahead and make your magic ring and chain 1. and do 6 single crochets into this magic ring. Once you've done your 6 stitches, go ahead and pull on your small strand of yarn to close the loop and slip stitch and chain 1 to finish off the round. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and do one more round of single crochets. And we're not going to do any increases, we're just going to single crochet around, keeping a stitch count of 6. Okay, once you have your second round of single crochet stitches, go ahead and slip stitch into your very first stitch again, and chain 1. And we're going to go ahead and do one more round of single crochets. So again, keeping a stitch count of 6, go ahead and single crochet around. Okay, once you have your 6 single crochets, again slip stitch and chain 1, and cut a long strand of yarn. We're going to be using this long strand of yarn to sew it onto our ghost body. And with this small strand of yarn in the middle, if you're using thicker yarn, then you can just tuck this in and then stuff your hand with filling. But because I'm using a thinner yarn for this tutorial, mine is going to be a little difficult to stuff, so I'm just going to go ahead and snip this off. But if you're using thick white yarn for the ghost, then you should just be able to tuck it in and stuff it. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and attach this hand onto my darning needle. There we go. And now you can place your hands however you want, whichever position you'd like them to be in. I'm just going to go ahead and place it right about there. And I'm going to hold it down, grab my darning needle, and just start sewing it onto the body. It's a lot easier to sew it on if you're using the thicker yarn that I said earlier in the video. But since I'm using a thinner yarn, it's a little more difficult to stitch. And also, if you're using a thicker yarn, once you get done or get close to getting done sewing the hand onto the body, you can go ahead and stuff the hand as well, which is what I did for the original ghost. But again, since this is a smaller hand because it's a smaller yarn, I am not going to be stuffing this. Okay, once you have your hand sewn on, go ahead and just fasten off however you'd like. I like to make a little knot with my yarn. Then I'm going to bring my yarn through one of the back stitches, like so. Then I'm going to snip it off. Go ahead and make another one of your hands and place it on the opposite end of the body, and I will go ahead and do that off camera. Okay, I've gone ahead and added the other arm, and that's how you make your ghost plushie. If you used a thicker yarn and hook that I said in the beginning of the video, then you would have gotten a plushie about this size. Anyway, that's all that I have for today. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Also, let me know if you would like to see anything else for my next video. Instead of posting every Thursday, I've started posting every other Thursday because school is starting again, college, and also I just got a new job. So I will be posting every other week. Anyway, again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. Also, in the description box below and in the eye right in the corner, you're going to see my Etsy shop. Feel free to check that out if you have the time. Anyway, I will see you next time. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye!